What if I told you that you could make a pizza so good it feels like you're right there on the streets of Naples? Well, today we are breaking down the official guide to making authentic Neapolitan pizza, the undisputed king of all pizzas, right in your own kitchen. Let's get to it. Okay, let's start with this really crucial idea from the official guardians of the craft, the AVPN. See, this isn't just about tossing ingredients together, it's about respecting a tradition, a culinary secret that's been guarded for centuries. That's why we're calling it a discipline, not just a recipe. So here's our roadmap to becoming a true pizza master. We're going to start with the rules, then unlock the secrets to that perfect dough. After that, we'll get into the art of shaping and topping, master the insane 90-second bake, and finish things off with a tour of the classics. Sound good? First up, the discipline itself. You know, the AVPN has a super strict set of rules, and they're all designed to achieve one thing, that signature Neapolitan crust. We're talking soft, pillowy, with a slightly chewy bite, and those beautiful smoky charred spots we call leoparding. The goal is a pizza that's soft, elastic, and just kissed by fire. All right, now that we get the philosophy, let's get our hands dirty. It's time to dive into the absolute heart and soul of the pizza, the dough. And what's kind of wild is that something this complex, with all its flavor and texture, starts with just 4 simple ingredients. That's it, just 4. And here's the kicker. Notice what's missing. There's no oil, and there is absolutely no sugar. All that incredible flavor comes from the slow, magical work of fermentation, not from some cheap trick. It's the difference between a fine wine and, a cheap knockoff. So, what's the big deal with this Type 00 flour? Well, it's milled incredibly fine, and it's got a high protein content, which is the secret to getting that strong, elastic structure we're after. And the salt and yeast? Think of them as the conductors of an orchestra, carefully controlling the tempo of the whole fermentation to create a symphony of flavor. So the process starts by hand. First, you dissolve the salt and yeast in the water, then slowly bring in the flour. Then comes the kneading, about 15, maybe 20 minutes. You're looking for what the Italians called the point of pasta, that perfect moment when the dough becomes smooth as silk, super elastic, and it's not clinging to your hands for dear life. That's how you know you've built that strong, stretchy net of gluten that's going to trap all those beautiful air bubbles. The rise, or lievitazione, is where the real magic happens. It's like a 2-act play. First, a 2-hour bulk fermentation. Then, you divide the dough into individual balls. This is called staglio. Now, the crucial part, these little balls get a long second rise, anywhere from 6 to 8 hours. This is where all that incredible complex flavor develops. You just can't rush this. It's like trying to rush a fine wine. The longer you wait, the better it gets. Okay, our dough is perfectly risen, it's packed with flavor, and it is ready for its moment in the spotlight. So let's move on to the artistry of actually shaping the base and adding those classic toppings. This is where we turn that beautiful dough into a work of art. This is the single most important rule of shaping, so listen up. If you take away only one thing from this whole explainer, let it be this. Put the rolling pin away. Seriously. A rolling pin just crushes and destroys all those beautiful air bubbles you just spent 8 hours developing. You have to use your hands. And that gentle touch is what it's all about. By pressing from the center of the dough outwards with your fingertips, you gently coax those air bubbles to the edge. And that forms what's officially known as the Cornicione. That iconic, puffy, airy crown that makes a Neapolitan pizza, well, a Neapolitan pizza. For the quintessential margarita, it is all about simplicity and quality. We're talking sweet San Marzano tomatoes crushed by hand, creamy, milky Fior di Latte mozzarella, or even better, buffalo mozzarella. But here's a pro tip that will save you from total disaster. You have to slice and drain the mozzarella beforehand. If you don't, it will release a flood of water and turn your beautiful pizza into a soupy mess. Trust me on this one. We've built a masterpiece of a base, a perfect canvas. But now we face the final and, honestly, the trickiest challenge for any home cook, the bake. This is where we need to use a little bit of science and a whole lot of cleverness to outsmart our ovens. Yeah, this is the million-dollar question, isn't it? How on earth can a humble home oven that maxes out around 500 degrees Fahrenheit compete with a fire-breathing 900-degree Neapolitan oven that cooks a pizza in 60 seconds? It's like asking a go-kart to race a Ferrari. So how are we going to do it? And this slide really lays it all out. On one side, you've got the raging inferno of a professional oven. On the other, your trusty home oven, which is basically a toaster by comparison. We are talking about a 400-degree gap. It's like trying to boil a giant pot of water with a single match. It's going to take a while, and that's why getting that signature char at home is so tough. Okay, so here's the good news. A pizza stone or a pizza steel can be your best friend here. It cuts the cooking time almost in half by blasting intense heat directly into the base. But even then, we're still looking at 5 to 8 minutes, not 90 seconds. But what if I told you there's a way to get even closer without buying a fancy new oven? You ready for the secret weapon? And here it is, the secret weapon for the home cook, the skillet-to-broiler method. You get a cast iron pan screaming hot on your stovetop, then you slide your pizza in and you hear that beautiful sizzle as the crust instantly starts to crisp up. Then you move the entire pan right under your broiler, which has been preheating on high. The top gets blasted with heat, the cheese bubbles, the crust puffs up. This is your ticket to the big leagues. It's the closest you're going to get to that 90-second bake at home. We did it. We've conquered the dough, we've tamed the fire, and we've emerged victorious. Now it's time to reap the rewards. With this perfect Neapolitan base, you now have the foundation for a whole universe of incredible classic pizzas. Let's take a quick tour, shall we? First up, the marinara. And a lot of people don't realize this, but this is a taste of history from a time before mozzarella was everywhere. It has no cheese. It's like a culinary haiku, a simple, elegant poem written in tomato, garlic, and oregano. The ingredients are minimal, so quality is absolutely everything. We're talking sweet tomatoes, paper-thin slices of garlic, and a really generous drizzle of fruity olive oil. That oil does two things. It protects the garlic from burning, and it acts like a matchmaker, bringing the tomato and garlic together in this beautiful, harmonious union. Next up, for those of you who like a little fire in your belly, we have the diavola. And here's a little tip for your next trip to Italy. If you ask for a pepperoni pizza, you're going to get a pizza with bell peppers. I know, confusing. If you want that spicy salami we all know and love, you have to ask for a diavola, which literally means devilish. And trust me, it lives up to the name. This is just a classic combo of sweet tomato, creamy mozzarella, and that spicy salami that curls up into these little crispy cups when it bakes. The edges get all charred and smoky, and that spicy oil pulls in the center, just waiting for you to mop it up with a piece of that fluffy crust. And hey, if you're a true chili head, go ahead and add some fresh chilies. Just be warned, it's not for the faint of heart. And now, let's venture into the world of white pizzas, where cheese isn't just a topping, it's the main event. The quattro formaggi doesn't use a tomato base at all. Instead, the base is just a molten river of cheese, a symphony of flavors that will make your taste buds sing. Now, you might think quattro formaggi is just a free-for-all of whatever cheese you have, but nope. There is a method to the madness. You need a milky, neutral base from the mozzarella. You need a pungent funk from something like gorgonzola. You need a salty kick from a hard cheese like Parmigiano. And finally, you need a creamy, gooey melt from something like Fontina. It's a perfectly balanced cheese orchestra. So we've gone from the 4 basic ingredients all the way to that final, fiery bake. We've seen that making true Neapolitan pizza is a process, it's a craft, a discipline. But it's also a really delicious adventure just waiting for you to begin. So the only question left is, which classic will be your first masterpiece?